Hello everybody, how is it going? And welcome to another episode of Amps of the Axe Factory. I'm going to be your host, Lucas, and today we are going to be checking out the infamous Mesa Lone Star amplifier. And guys, this is your first time here before, or if you've been here before, make sure you are subscribed. I do lots of cool things here. I do Axe Effects tutorials, I do gear reviews, I do mixing tutorials. I do giveaways from time to time. I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff, so make sure you are subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump into the Mesa Lone Star and check it out and hear how it sounds like. So this is what the Lone Star looks like. By the way, all this information I'm pulling from it is from the X Amp Guide. Put a link to that in the description down below if you would like to check it out. Lots of detailed information here. It's a very straightforward amp, and it is one of Mesa's better amps, if I have to say so myself. One of the more famous people who uses the Lone Star is Mr. Andy Timmons, and I actually got to hear him use this in person when I went to Paul Gilbert's guitar camp a couple years ago. Fantastic time there. This thing sounded so great. Andy's rig was like fantastic. It sounded so like big and fat, and it sounded really good. And Andy is a very nice person too. He's all around good person. He's famous one that uses this amp. A lot of other people do use it too, but and the wiki right here just has him, which this is a great thing to check out because Andy sounds so good. Cabinet wise, I'm going to show you. I'm going to use two different ones whenever we get into that. It can use tube wise. It can use EL34s or some 6L6s. It just depends on which model you grab. The Fractal one was modeled off of the Lone Star Classic and not the Special Edition. And we have two different channels on the Axe Effects. We have the clean, and then we have the lead and or drive, whichever one you feel like calling it is the lead tone. And that's it. So that's what the back of the amp looks like there. Let me bring up Axe Edit. Sorry I've been talking so much, kind of trying to lay the groundwork for everything. It's called the Texas Star inside the Axe Effects. Okay, IR wise, we are going to be using two of them. For the clean, I'm going to be using the one that's in the Axe, and it's the Lone Star 212. And when it comes to the lead, I'm going to be using ML Mega Green, which is some greenbacks and a Mesa cab. I really love how this sounds. I am not the biggest fan of how the 212 sounds with the lead. So let's get the clean going on. That's the IR we're going to be using. Here's a little bit of the EQ. I'm going to show you that. It's basically the same thing. Scooping a little mids. Mesas have a lot of mids. Using my Anderson Cobra with the Anderson pickups at HC1 in the neck, HC3 in the bridge. I'm going to play a little bit for you. I'm going to cycle my pickups so you can hear what each position sounds like. I'm going to start in the bridge and then just work my way all the way to the neck. It's going to be a clean sound. Clean on here is great. It's big, it's fat, it's majestic, nice, good, clean sounding. I mean, Mesas are sort of based on Fender circuits, so it kind of makes sense. So the clean sounds really good. On my guitar wise, different positions, I find it sounds best in the parallel middle positions, which I played the most, and then when you go to parallel neck and then neck, I think that's the best positions that it sounds the best in when it comes to the cleans. Those positions have a little bit more bass, a little bit more mid in them, and they lend themselves to the clean sound a little more. I don't want to spend too much time on the clean tone. The clean tone here is really good. It's one of the upper tier clean amps in the Axe Effects. So let's jump over to the lead tone. So This amp's kind of nice because you have a drive and you do have an overdrive. Not all of them have that. I didn't touch the master volume or the presence on any of these. Now, we are going to be changing to ML Mega Green on here, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to play... I'm going to go on... I'll just go on bridge, and then I'll cycle in, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, as you can hear, if you use the 212 Texas one, it gets a little bit boxy, which that's kind of how a 212 cab sounds, to be honest with you. Most of the time. Big, huge, most of the time there. I like the Mega Green a lot better. It's a little bit more open, and I like the sound that you get out of it a lot better. So that's why I'm using it for the lead. The drive, I have it around 5. I have the overdrive right around here. Watch. I'll crank the overdrive, and I'll let you hear how it sounds when it's fully open. It sounds better when you give it headroom. I'm probably drive the drive a little bit back, like right here. I find the overdrive is good around 7-ish when you crank it. When you crank it fully up, as you heard, it gets a little hairy, and then the overhead kind of smashes down, and it doesn't exactly sound the best. I took a lot of bass, a lot of mid, and as you can see in here, I took some more mids out of it there. I left the 125 in to give that nice, good bass tone to it. So the lead tone on here is kind of what you would expect. So this amp's not really like a super high gain amp. It's kind of more like a, a classic rock, a light rock type of amp. That's what it's going for. It does a really good, great job in that. The distortion is kind of, it's not very super tight. It's very loose sounding, I guess you could say. It has a lot of openness to it. So that is why I decided to try a drive on it. I have just the 808 right here. Gonna throw that on and let you hear what it sounds like. Now, it's gonna throw a little bit of extra mids in it, but I kind of like what it does to the overall tone. So with the drive and without the drive, it sounds great. The last thing you heard was from my parallel middle position, which kind of gives you that good spanky tone. You can use this amp for rock, country, You can it's very versatile. It pretty much hits the wall pretty much at like hard rock and metal is pretty much where it hits the wall. But it's very versatile, good clean tone. Sounds good with a drive, sounds good without a drive. And if you find the right IR, it could sound even better. Alright guys, that is going to wrap things up for the Mesa Lone Star. I thought this video was cool. Leave me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. Coming up, we are going to get into some Mesa stuff, because as you can see, we have some, we got the 2-stone coming up, the 2 pre. I don't even know if I want to cover the 2 pre. I guess I have to, since it's an amp. It's kind of much just like a preamp, pretty much. We are getting into some Mesa stuff. As you can see, all this USA stuff is Mesa stuff. This is kind of like a little precursor to it. This is technically Mesa right here. This is technically a recto, which we kind of already covered. For the back, we have the Tremolo Lux, the Triple Crest. I already covered the triple. That's a Mesa too. That's the Triple Crown. I covered that right when it came out. We have the 2-stone right here. Some Mesa bass. I'm gonna be getting into some Mesa stuff, guys. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any of that cool Mesa stuff we got going on. And guys, thank you so much for sticking around, watching this video, hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.